Beta content can give us a good idea of what a game was like during development. I'm sure you can think of a few games on the top of your head that can probably make you think of this. Mario 64 is a great example of this. But what about this game? What does this game have to offer? Let's find out. Now, we can't just look up some 1995 Let's Plays of a beta version. That's just common sense. But there is some early gameplay footage that we can take a look at. After looking at that footage, we can point out a lot of things. Some stages are very different, like Casino Night having flippers and the walls being completely different. The camera angle is changed weirdly, the KO is a texture, the health bar was different colors, and even some renders are changed. For example, Fang has different shading and Necklace Eggman is doing a cool pose. I think his legs would disagree with you though. Going on the character side of things, Knuckles had a different model, Amy had a better idle animation which I wish they kept, Bark had multiple different unused models, and that's kind of a running theme with these other segments. It's quite obvious that Bark had, let's just say, a rough time coming out the blender. He has this absolute mess of a beta model that has a mirror version, most likely just a placeholder design, and then this next one, which is most likely what they possibly would have went with, because this one's a mock-up. And this next one is Eggman, and Eggman was kinda in a similar boat, but rather instead of models, it was more in the spot of how do we integrate him? To really describe it, which I've basically gone over this multiple times, basically they were confused on if they wanted Eggman in a mech or not, because if you know Mechless Eggman, he's not very threatening at all, which I'm assuming why they cut him in the first place, and two, if you give him multiple moves, some moves straight up just don't work on him. Even looking at the render, it's clear that the Model 2 team, they were kinda struggling with this character. Not only moveset wise, but design wise too. And they were also messing up with sizes too. To put that in perspective, you had Mechless Eggman, a medium-sized Eggman, a big Eggman, and a mech Eggman, and also a tank Eggman too. That brings the total to 5, which a whopping 1 of them was actually used in the game. Now, of course, they also struggled on that too, because around that time when they were working on Mech Eggman, the game was basically almost ready to be done, and because they had an 8-month time span on it, they had to do something. Which was why Robo-Egg was cut in the first place. They gave all his assets to Mech Eggman. And there's even some remnants of it too, although it's very unnoticeable. While the moveset was indeed carried over, there's something I guarantee you almost none of you has noticed, and I didn't even know this until someone told me. If Eggman doesn't move, you can see his arms move faster. Holy crap, that is crazy. Robo-Egg, when he doesn't move, his drills actually spin faster. Anyways, getting back on topic to here, Rocket Metal was also most likely in the same boat. They probably just didn't have time to make a moveset for him. Now let's go over the stages. South Island had multiple changes, and I'm pretty sure it's the most drastic. First, it was a jungle-themed-ish environment, its cage was much smaller, and then it was given a dramatic overhaul over the years. We have the results screen as the floor, until it was made into this. Flying Carpet had pillars. If I had to guess, it was probably going to be like the Dragon's Altair stage from Smash Bros, where there's like a main spawn point, and then you get sent flying into the air, but that's just a guess. Aurora Ice Field had unused ice blocks, and some extra things, and even some other things like Pango. And the floor was a lot more opaque, and the walls were slightly different. Mushroom Hill had a slightly different color backdrop, and there was also more leaves in the background, seen in the unused Mushroom Hill variant. and Casino Night had flippers left over, and different walls. Let's transition to the arcade mode. There are flickies and pockies left over, including this little capsule that's meant to go with them. My guess is that they were either extra collectibles, or they were just meant to be the emeralds all along, since there's different colors that correspond to an emerald's color. There's also an unused black emerald. My guess is that it probably has something to do with Eggman. There are some more unused objects and models, but let's be real here, they really aren't that interesting. And some of them are just testing objects anyway, so there's really no point in even talking about them. And the amount of unused and beta content in this game can really show a picture on the development cycle of this game. Personally, from what I can tell, the developers really did not know what to even do with this game. Some characters were all over the place, and even via the stage design, it was obvious too. If only they had more time to work on this game, you could imagine how a lot more larger this game could have been if they weren't stuck to an 8-month schedule. Maybe the modding community can experiment with a lot of these beta elements and possibly bring them back and possibly fix them, but who knows. Anyways, that'll be it for this video.